how do you hear God's voice? I like to ask people that question because I personally believe that when you hear, I feel like God loves us so much, and I feel like if we're following His will, life is lit. Like, we're on the right path. That's all you got. I know. So that's why I asked it, because I feel like if I'm following God's will, man, that's all I need to do. Like, I'm on a great path. But sometimes there's so many different external factors. You go on social media, this guru is telling you, oh, you got to do this. And then this person is like, nah, don't do this. Or your mom is like, go to call. Like, and there's just so many voices and you don't know what's what, But I do know that God's voice is correct. So how do you know when God is speaking to you?
All right. This might sound crazy, but you just got to kind of roll with me on this one.
Sure.
All right. So I look at God as the creator, right?
Yeah.
So many people, whether you reference it, God, universe, creator, however you reference, this almighty, beginning creator. Even with that being true, I think God's greatest creation is the human mind. And because when we look outside in our lives, every single thing that is in our human experience was first somebody's idea and thought. So whether it's the building you're in, the apps you see, the everything in our current reality, outside of nature and, the trees and things of that nature, but, all the things that have been created have come from somebody's mind. It was somebody's first thought or idea. So for me, to answer your question, I think that God's talking to me in the form of the ideas that come to my mind.
Okay.
And because I didn't come up with the idea. Going back to my ego statement, if I take my ego out of it, I didn't create the idea. It was more so planning in my mind, which, I think is God planting, something in me to run with. And so when I think of, positive ideas that, can positively impact others, I think that that's God talking to me. And because I'm here to be a resource to others. And so let me put it in a different way. And I know I don't want to take too much time, but a lot of times God is also labeled as the source, right? People reference God as source or the source. I believe us as people are a somewhat of a reincarnation or in His likeness and in His image. So that makes us a resource. So in that capacity, that the things that I can create, the ideas that come to my mind, is God using me as a vessel. So I think God talks to me based on the ideas that He puts in my mind, and whether or not I act on them is what it decides whether or not I'm obedient or not to, His vision. And there is I don't believe that there's not any idea or thought that He has placed in my mind that can't be brought into reality. And I think my faith in how my faith is tested, or, how I measure my faith, is if I'm willing to believe in the process that comes after.
Yeah, I agree.
That's how I look at it.